Hey, what's up, guys? I want to do an update 2 months into my blast cycle of taking consistently around 400 to 500 milligrams a week of testosterone and 400 to 500 milligrams of primobolan a week. On top of that, 6 IUs of human growth hormone a day, 3 in the morning, 3 at night. And right now I am making huge amount of gains. I believe everything is just working in synergy, and it almost seems like every day I feel like I'm getting bigger. It's a bit of exaggeration, but to be honest, not really. I'm waking up in the morning right now and feeling like my body is pumped. Like I just did a bicep pump some days. Not to the extent of actually doing it, but it's like the amount of like swollenness that I have in the morning and tightness of my whole muscles. Like in the morning after I do like a bit of stretching, my pecs and my arms and things, and I have to like loosen everything up. It just feels like everything is just super tight, and I believe everything is working really well together. And one thing I'll mention first is last month my blood pressure was kind of within the quote dangerous range. It was getting up to like 150 over 90 every time I measure it, but now it's down to like 130 to 140, which is acceptable, I will say. And part of the what might be cause of this is I changed my testosterone source. So I went from this Olympia Gold in Canada. You can order that online, and I switched to this kind of another underground lab, and I tested both. Both are legit, but this one, since I switched to that, I've actually noticed a decrease in blood pressure. Now, is it because of that switch, or is it because my body's become more acclimatized to taking this degree of testosterone, or is it become acclimatized to the HGH? You know, it started the high blood pressure around the time I took the HGH, but I'm not going to say that that is a causation, or it could be just a correlation that happened. But regardless, the amount of gains I'm making right now is substantial. And also in the last few weeks, I've added the Anavar, because in the last 6 weeks of the cycle, so now I've been on Anavar for 2 weeks, just taking 20 milligrams pre-workout, nothing substantial. But the thing about Anavar is it has a very high anabolic rating, and I believe that that kind of icing on the cake of it is really adding to the degree of gains I'm making right now. I'm really surprised with it in a good way. And I'm planning to do this to continue on the cycle for the next month, and then I'll drop everything back. Maybe just take a TRT dose of testosterone for the first month, and then add a microdose of something else like NPP. I'll continue with the human growth hormone. I'm thinking around the same 6 IUs a day through that. But take a step back, because I'm fulfilling all my goals that I've wanted. My strength goals, aesthetic goals, size goals. Like I'm weighing more now than I ever have. I'm up to now 225 pounds, so I've added around 13 roughly pounds since I've started, and without like excess puffiness. There's none of that puffiness, which a lot of the time, specifically with testosterone, you can get. Primobolan's not necessarily known for adding excessive puffiness, but it can. And I believe that everything. This is just based on my feeling. I don't have empirical evidence to. Sorry, my dog's just chewing my computer mouse here. I don't have evidence in my blood work to back that up, but I'm not getting signs of, first of all, low estrogen, which there's very tall tale signs of that, but as well I'm not getting of hyper excess estrogen as well. I believe my estrogen levels are within good range right now. So, yeah, I just want to say, like, again, when I wake up in the morning and I just feel like a swollenness more than I ever felt. And also, I should mention, after strong leg days, like days where I kind of like blast, like doing massive amount of squats and leg press and leg curls and leg extensions. Normally, I would feel that delayed onset muscle soreness for two days afterwards. The second day, primarily, like where I'm sure all you know the feeling where you can barely sit on the toilet, you know what I mean, or walk downstairs. Um, that is down probably around 60%. I'm gonna say. What do I attribute to that? Kind of a combination of everything, all of the above. You know, I think right now the HGH, primarily, specifically, is catching up to everything else, and is working in that synergy that I'm talking about on the testosterone and the primobolan. It's just like the perfect combination, and then the anavar, like I said before, the icing on the cake, that's just taking everything up a notch as well. So my strength gains, I measured through deadlifts, and I made a personal PR the other day of it was 365 pounds deadlift, and so that's, it's only 10 pounds more than I could do before. But the thing is, though, the ease of which I did it, it was just like perfect form, ease up, just like boom, locked out. I guaranteed I could do another 10 to 20 pounds on top of that. So that was just a difference within 2 months. And the thing is, I don't even really do many deadlifts, so that's a good kind of gauge. Something that I don't do normally, but I still work my legs a lot. I still do squats, I still do leg curls, leg extensions, and everything else. So yeah, I still work my legs. So I'm making gains there. But like I said, it's like that's a good gauge of what my strength is, and then I'm going to continue that after the cycle, like say a month after I'm done this blast, do that again, like test my max and see how much it's dropped down likewise again, right? The other thing I've been looking into taking is Proviron. Once I'm doing the TRT dose, probably not right away. I want to just like not do any post psychotherapy either. I don't want to add any other compounds. Just do the testosterone, really basic TRT dose, like probably 200 milligrams to start, and then maybe go up to 250 after a week or two. Let my body chill for a bit and recuperate. See how my blood pressure does, see how everything does, and then within 2 months start titrating the doses up, and as well adding the NPP, starting with a microdose, and then over every week adding 50 milligrams a week on top of that until that 3 month period starts, and then it's going to be essentially another blast cycle starting. One thing that I've learned in the last week or so is, which is really interesting, this is backed by a scientific study, is that if you take more than 500 milligrams of anabolic compounds for a 2-year period, now that 2-year period could be straight or it could be on and off, you are very highly likely going to get that left ventricular hypertrophy, which is hypertrophy being like this growth of the muscle tissue in your heart, your left ventricle that's pumping blood out. And some people who might not know about that might be, oh, that's a good thing, your heart's stronger. No, because your output volume is going to be decreased, and that essentially is the cause of like heart disease. I found that very interesting because, especially at my age where I'm approaching 40 years old, is how my outlook on how I'm going to pace my dosages from here on in. A lot of people I watch online don't push testosterone past 250 milligrams or 300, even on their blasts, and then they add the other compounds. They let the other compounds do the work, so to speak, whether it's EQ or whether it's DECA or cream bone, or whatever else. But the thing is that I've kind of come to understand, and like I think there's some difference of opinion on this that I've noticed is I kind of want the testosterone to be my primary anabolic. And what is my logic behind that? First of all, it is the one that our body naturally produces, so our body is naturally able to utilize it. And I believe it's one that you can run for longer periods of time. So in the long run, it adds up more than just running a short cycle of a 3-month cycle of one of the other anabolics. So it might have a stronger anabolic rating, but you don't, in the long run, when you're running testosterone, you'll get stronger in the long run because you're able to run it longer. That's a simplistic way of looking at it, but I believe that is my higher reasoning. But in order to do so, obviously, because the estrogen conversion, you got to get that in check. So I'm just doing research on my future anabolic intake and how I'm going to approach it, but as well, more so because this is coming up in the near future, is what I'm going to run in my kind of cruise aspect of things. So, but I believe that I'm going to add NPP for joint health, because I have a lot of joint issues, and for my next size and strength gains. And the other one that I'm looking at is Masteron. And again, there's some conflict of how anabolic Masteron actually is. I've heard a lot of people say that it's not a great for growth, depending on size, whatever. And some of the research I'm looking at lately is showing that is just as good as testosterone on the anabolic rating of, has low androgenic rating, but higher anabolic rating of around 100. So, just shy of 100. So testosterone is 100. That's kind of the base of what everything else is measured off. But again, Masteron has a bunch of, as a DHT derived steroid, it has a lot of other potential negative issues with it as well. But it's one that I believe is relatively safe, and one that I want to run approaching the summer for a dryness effect, especially because I'm going to be toning down my caloric intake from here on in for the summer, bringing all that down, because I've been kind of going on a massive bulk cycle for the last almost six to 8 months. So not counting my calories the way I should. So I'm going to bring all of that down, and by the summertime have hopefully a more drier effect. But again, still being able to put on muscle mass as well will be important to me as well. So I'll leave it there with that message as far as what my approach is. Just to reiterate what I was saying before, the amount of just that general feeling you have in the morning, when you wake up and you're just like, you feel your muscles and they're just tight, and they feel good. And I walk to the bathroom, take a piss, I look myself in the mirror, and it's just like, I just feel ripped more than ever, which is great. That's exactly what my goals are. I'm achieving my goals 100% on what I've expected. Nothing that's like too crazy. I'm not like international, but I'm not going to be going for my first show internet. I don't have any. That's not part of my goal structure to be a bodybuilder per se. While I'm doing bodybuilding, it's all my personal goals are being met, which is great at this age. Making gains, perfect. That's exactly what I am in this for. So I'll leave it there, guys. What do you think about my whole approach? Any comments, recommendations? Always appreciated. Like always, peace. Have a good night, guys.